Sunny skies after a rainy Friday, and the wind into the face of Devin Orr, who will do the kickoff duties. So it's about 15 miles an hour. Could be a factor today here at Roy Kidd Stadium. Back deep for Southern Utah, Braden Whistler and Rand Sawyer, the normal return guys. They wear the white uniforms with those shiny red helmets. Eastern Kentucky in the all maroon today with maroon helmets and white striping. On the stripes here in Richmond.
Watch special teams. Delane Fitzgerald told me it'll be a big part of a win for either team.
This one going to come short with a wind at the 11-yard line between the hashes. Whistler, the backup running back, only got to about the 21 or 22. The tackle for Eastern Kentucky made by Isaiah Brutus, a freshman from Kissimmee, Florida, and we're underway in Richmond and United Athletic Conference football.
Can't wait to get my first look here at Joshua Dye, who is absolutely been on the topic of every conversation across the UAC this season with how good he's been at running back, especially in the 3-game winning streak here recently.
Football at the 22-yard line as they begin. You'll see the quarterback in Bronson Barron. He had a cup of tea at Western Kentucky, played in a couple of games 2 seasons ago. It's Dye for the first carry. And Dye with a push of the line will get about 4.5. Tackle made by Cam Jr., the inside linebacker, nickelback, strong side linebacker, plays a little bit of everywhere out of Miami, Florida. It'll be second down and a long 5 or a short 6.
You can see there the offensive line is able to extend the play after first contact. Dye keeps churning the legs behind them, and he's able to pick up 2.5 yards after contact.
Second down and 6. Ball on the far hash, working right to left. Low snap. Dye, they fake it, and they'll throw it out to the right side, and it'll be a big play. Faked me out, so he had to go down to his knees and almost to midfield. On the catch, the tackle made by Jaheim Ward after the catch moved the football upfield on Hayden George's 11th catch of the year at tight end out of a transfer from Nevada.
And I think this is a broken play. It looked like RPO. They wanted to go with the handoff to Dye. The low snap prevented that from being clean. Then the quarterback, Barron, gets chased down, almost goes down, able to get it out at the last second. Wide open. Nobody had the wide receiver on that side in George. Actually, tight end, pardon me.
Made 24 on the play to George. That's a season high, his old high 19. 2-step drop, looking long. Now they'll go underneath, and it's caught by their leading receiver, Nunez. Gabe Nunez, the redshirt junior from Beaumont, California, with catch number 50 of the year.
Yeah, he had a good game last year against Eastern Kentucky and Cedar City. Had a touchdown catch against them. He's one of the only skill guys that has returned to this team from that team that beat EKU and Cedar City last year. You saw just a simple little post pattern, able to make the catch before the defensive back comes over the shoulder.
First and 10 again. This is the Colonel 34. They've chunk played their way down. Twin backs. This is Dye. Cut the corner. He's got speed. We talked about him, and he's inside the 20. And Southern Utah ripping apart a defense that's been well respected through the United Athletic Conference early on. With Southern Utah doing what they did to EKU last year out in Cedar City early.
He's so strong, so fast at gaining the edge. Good edge block there to establish the edge. And once Dye sees that that's been set, able to cut the corner, get to the sideline, and pick up another first down. And as you said, they're chunking the EKU defense.
24-yard catch, 16-yard catch, throw, and this on the timing pattern along the right sidelines is incomplete. And it'll be second down and 10 from the Colonel 18.
Yeah, they got the matchup they wanted there. Frank Lee, the linebacker, on a guy that's going down the sideline. And he had a step to begin with, but Frank Lee made sure that was closed off very quickly, and the timing pattern was disrupted.
So after a pair of passes of 24 and 16, and then a 16-yard run by Dye, 3 straight first downs, it'll be second and 10 from the Colonel 18 in the red zone this year. They have scored 89% of the time, 68% touchdowns, Dye trying to get to the edge and can't. Oh, he gets hammered hard right along the white of the sidelines. And there were 4 Colonels over there on the stretch play, and it'll be 3rd and long. And that was a really nice hit from Vito Tisdale.
Yeah, but Dye still able to break a couple of tackles. That one edge right there, Gurley not able to wrap him up there on the edge. So he's able to get a yard forward instead of being dropped for a tackle for loss there. And you see the strength of Dye to keep that play going, even though he takes the tough hit out of bounds.
Football at the 17-yard line, 3rd and 9. They're great on 3rd down. 45% on the year, 25th best in FCS football. They need the Colonel 8. Just underway in Richmond. Out of the backfield goes the new running back, Whistler, and whistles sound. See if there was a timeout first or what.
I don't think they got it off.
I don't see a flag yet. We'll hear.
Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Now the back judge back there in the end zone threw the flag and immediately crossed his arms to signal delay of game. So if they tried to get a timeout, they did not get it in time.
So it'll be 3rd down and 14 now. 3 big chunk plays, but now they're behind the sticks a bit. Back to the 22. They are a team that has gone for 4th down and made all 14. They don't want to get in that situation here. They've used a pair of field goal kickers in this game. Will EKU limit them to that? Here comes the 3rd and 14. For Barron, over the middle, well played defensively and wrapped up. They went to the tight end in George again, and the tackle by Jaheim Ward, preseason all-conference, and that was great one-on-one defense.
Well, they send all the receivers on that left side of the offense down the field, so they're blocking. It has to be a one-on-one play by Ward, and he makes it. Really nice open field tackle, and Ward forces them into a field goal attempt.
They have used both Jaden Rogers and Daniel King, and it will be Rogers lining up for a 39-yard field goal near hash. For the lead early on in Richmond, Thunderbirds sailing into the Bluegrass and leading 3-0 here with 10:33 to go, but the EKU defense stiffens, and Southern Utah now has gone 26 of 39 on touchdowns. We have a timeout. Back to Richmond after this.
Southern Utah goes 56 yards in 8 plays, 4 minutes and 22 seconds to open the game. But they have to settle for 3. A 32-yard field goal from Jaden Rogers. And the Thunderbirds are on the board first, 3-0 with 10:33 to go here in the first quarter.
So Rogers does the work to get the 3, and the other kicker, Danny King, will attempt what will be his 20th kickoff of the year. And all but 16 have been touchbacks, and with the wind at his back, he'll get this one over the top of the dangerous Mitchell, and we will have football for the Colonels at their own 25, down 3-0. Southern Utah comes in averaging almost 35 points a game, 17th in the country. Eastern Kentucky had its best game, as we said at the top last week, Jim, equaling their season high with 34 in the impressive win over Central Arkansas, but they've had a change at center because of a loss of a right guard who had started all 9 games in Antonio Gaines. It's a spot to watch.
Yeah, he injured his knee in practice earlier this week. They thought he would go today. Instead, he's out. Last-minute decision.
That moves Coppinger, the center, over to his position, and Hunter Gallantly will make his first collegiate snap. Latham sheds a tackle, gets to the edge. He stays on his feet down the sidelines, and he is bumped out of bounds by Mikey Allen, the 6-foot sophomore cornerback, but EKU's Latham finds the edge, and they're on the positive side.
The hole that he's able to run through, he escapes that tackle in the backfield, and once that happens, he's off and running, trucks one defender, and then gets down the sideline. Really nice run by Latham, but good blocking, and his quarterback helped him out with a block in the backfield.
Latham goes for 33 yards. His longest was a touchdown against West Georgia of 45 yards.
Flag down here.
John Kellermeyer is. So the false start was called on the new player, Hunter Gallantly, the center. That was just a second snap as a collegiate. He played nearby up the road at George Rogers Clark High School in Winchester. There's a good look at Gallantly. with his left hand on the football. And they'll go pistol here. 3-0 Southern Utah. Latham, he was a step away from getting to the edge, but they dragged him down from behind. He got a yard. It'll be 2nd and 14. That was a nice tackle by Henry Harper, who had 2 tackles and a caused fumble against EKU last year. Both of his tackles were for negative yards.
Yeah, that time the play just took too long to develop. It was a delayed handoff on the RPO. Latham takes it, but by the time it takes place, it's around the corner for Harper.
Burkett surveying both ways. Now he finds a receiver close to what's needed for the first down. Extra yardage, all depends. He got to the 34 and just a yard shy of the first down. That was the first catch of the career of a redshirt senior, Zach Russell. He had never made one at Bowling Green State or here at EKU. He has now.
And he covered it up well. Did you see that? He just decided, you know what, they can tackle me forward, but I'm not losing this football. Good awareness of having his arms around it, not allowing it to be stripped out.
13-yard pickup by Russell. Caleb Schlachter out, the starting tight end. Second game in a row. Latham needs one. He dances, looks, and gets it. He needed the 33, and he got down to the 32, where he is met and dropped by Josh Dunn, the linebacker, transfer from Frostburg State. Same school as Lane Fitzgerald left out in Pennsylvania to come to Southern Utah.
It used to be in years past that this EKU team had trouble on offense getting a yard when they needed it on 2nd and 1 and 3rd and 1. This year they've been much better at getting that 1 yard needed to move the sticks.
They're going to pass on first down, go to the sidelines, and caught by Cowwise. See, he slammed into the Southern Utah sidelines. See where they mark him out. They're going to put him at the 26, so he picked up 7.
I think that was Vaca, Greg, actually, that made the catch over there.
Kyle Vaca.
He's come on of late in the last 2 or 3 games, really been a big part of the offense, and it's a good thing as they got thin toward the middle of the season.
Kyle Vaca, the redshirt freshman out of Johns Creek, Georgia, Kell High School. 2nd down and 3. Latham makes a man miss and turned in what could have been a negative carry. And it all depends on where they spot it, whether he got enough for the first down. Let's see if they move the chains or if it'll be 3rd and inches. Looks like it's going to be 3rd and inches.
What a great cutback to the inside by Latham that time. He realized that he was going to get shut down if he tried to string that around the edge, so he just cut it back toward the hash, went inside, made the defender miss, and got positive yards.
Nose guard Seti Tuiaki made the tackle out of Lawndale, Utah, or Lawndale High School in Inglewood, California. Did play at Utah State. 3rd and inches for EKU to keep the chains moving, and they're going to throw to the near side. And this time it is Cowwise, not Vaca. And Cowwise moves the chains as Andy Richmond, the offensive coordinator, sees his team drive downfield, trying to respond to an opening field goal by Southern Utah.
Yeah, Barron Taylor, the defensive back, makes the tackle, but not before Cowwise is wide open, and they brought him in motion underneath, and that's why he was so open underneath that corner on that side, just not able to make up that much distance so quickly. Cowwise, a 3-touchdown effort against UCA last week, kind of broke out of a little bit of a sophomore slump.
Reigning United Athletic Conference Offensive Player of the Week. This one kept by Burkett, not much there.
Again, Harper, he is really coming off the line of scrimmage quickly, getting into the backfield and causing problems. That was an RPO to give it to Latham, but instead Burkett sees Harper come off the ball so quickly, he keeps the football, decides I'm probably in a better position to get a yard or 2 than is Latham. He may get stopped in the backfield.
It'll be 2nd down and 11 after a loss of 1. EKU needs just inside the 10 to keep the chains moving. Started with a 33-yard run by Latham, but here comes the flag again. This one from the head linesman. EKU did not have an offensive penalty last week.
Ball start. Offense, number 63. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That's Gully's 2nd now, moving the football.
Eastern Kentucky with the false start there. There's the little hitch right there.
Yeah.
It's tough to ask a guy that has never played a college football game, not a down of it, to be a late substitution in. They've actually used Coppinger and Bunn and Johns all at center. And then the backup was Schlarman, and he got injured. So basically a fifth stringer. This one dropped. They are going to say a pass forward to Latham. It could have been nearly a fumble on a lateral back, but Latham dropped it, and the Colonels are now facing third down and about 15.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if Gully's penalties haven't kind of thrown the offensive line off a little bit. They're probably holding their water a fraction of a second longer, and it's allowing Southern Utah's defensive line to cause disruptions in the backfield.
5:13 opening stanza. Southern Utah hits a 39-yard field goal after stalling in the red zone. Burkett takes off. Big running room, but they tripped him. It was the hand of the defensive lineman Lando Brown that saved what could have been a first down. Instead, it'll be a tie field goal effort here for Eastern Kentucky. Lando Brown has had 13 and a half tackles for loss this year. That wasn't a loss, but it was like one. And this will be a 36-yarder.
I was wondering how long it would take before we would hear his name. He is a good one, and I'm anxious to watch him through this one.
UTEP transfer Buzz Flabiano to try to tie the game, and he has. So a pair of field goals after both teams dent the red zone. And it's 3-3 in Richmond in United Athletic Conference play.
Trading field goals the first two drives by these two teams. Jaden Rogers, a 39-yarder to open up for Southern Utah. Now EKU's answered. Buzz Flabiano, a 36-yard field goal. And 11 plays, 56 yards in the drive, took 4 minutes and 37 seconds. So, Greg, almost 10 minutes of the first quarter goes by, and or more than 10 minutes goes by as these two teams have two drives. We may be in for a low-scoring affair here today.
Now Rogers now 10 of 14 on field goal, second leading scorer behind Dye, who leads the nation in FCS. Flabiano now top 20 in field goals made per game. He's now 12 of 16. Interesting that Flabiano and their star running back Joshua Dye were teammates together last year at the University of Texas El Paso. Winds died down a bit. Here comes the kickoff by Orr. It's a rifle one down the middle. Was it touched? It'll go back to the 4. Picked up, and in trouble is the returner, and it'll only get to the 6-yard line. Second game in a row, second play in a row on kickoff that Isaiah Brutus has made the big tackle. That one was mishandled. Let's see if he touched it here, Jim. I think he may have.
There may have been a brush of it there because it slows down. You see the velocity of that slows down. And then what he has to do is go get it. Even if he doesn't touch it, he's got to go get that football because EKU's Gunners are right on top of him as he picks it up off the turf. So either way, if he touched it, if he didn't, he's got to go get that football because it doesn't make it to the end zone.
And that's exactly what Rand Sawyer was able to do. He had a 95-yard kickoff return in the narrow loss to Northern Arizona earlier this year. They'll start from their own 6, and Dye gets to the corner, and he's off to the races, but the sidelines becomes the 12th man, and he's pushed out with the help of the sidelines by Derek Taylor, but we've seen what Joshua Dye could do with his speed.
He's going to get around the edge here, and Brayton Sullivan loses the containment on the edge. Sullivan, it looked like he may even slip. Let's see if we can catch it here on the end. Watch Sullivan too far inside for one thing, then he slips and stumbles a little bit. That allows Dye to get the edge and get down the sideline.
Derek Taylor, 38 tackles now in the last 4 games plus early on in this one. 8, 11, 10, and 8. His tackle totals the last 4. Adjusting the pocket right is Barron, rifling a throw, and it is caught behind the Colonel's secondary inside the 50 and hauled in by their second leading receiver in Shane Carr, the junior from Bakersfield, California. And it was Tisdale and Ward who made the tackle. Big strike.
The problem with the defensive backs here is they're both underneath the receiver. You can see both of them underneath the receiver. Tisdale completely out of the play. Ward has to make the tackle. But again, Barron puts that in a perfect spot. It was a perfect throw over the shoulder of the receiver to make the catch.
15-yard run first by Dye, and then the long pass around 50 yards, 44 to be exact. 44-yard catch. And that's the longest of the year. The previous long for Carr had been 42. Here's Dye hunting for a hole on first down, and he'll get about 3 from the 35 to the 32. We talked about Southern Utah, so good offensively, 29th in the country, 415.5. Almost 35 points a game, and we've seen it early on here, even though the game's 3-3 inside the first with 3 minutes left and underneath here in quarter number 1.
Dye makes the right decision there. That was supposedly going to the outside. He was going to try to get to the boundary, but instead notices that EKU's got that all bottled up, so he cuts it to the inside, gets a few yards out of it before Bailey takes him down.
Balanced formation. They gave him the 31, so he picked up 4. Pocket collapses. Barron goes down way back at the 36-yard line for a loss of 5. That is the 17th quarterback sack made of the year for EKU and the 23rd allowed this year by Southern Utah.
Bailey and Gurley. And Gurley's had a big year. Bailey's been quiet as of late. A part of the defense that's played so well, but been kind of quiet. That time he is able to make that pocket collapse, he and Gurley combined.
1.5 sacks now for Bailey, 5.5 for Gurley if they give a half each way. And that is exactly what the official stat man saw. It's 3rd down and 11 now. 3rd and 11 from the 36. In motion Nunez, but that one's going to come back.
Movement. Looked like the right side.
False start offense, number 51. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Hadn't been a good day for the centers. 2 by the EKU center. That's the false start by Edward Riley. Transfer from River City College in California. Now you're 3rd down and 16.
Yeah, and this may be 4-down territory for Fitzgerald. He decides to get half of it here if he can and then go for it on 4th down because you're kind of on the cusp of field goal range. We'll have to see what his strategy is.
Will they waste the 44-yard catch by Carr? They're going to set up the screen, trying to see if Carr can get it all. He can't, but he will get down to about the 28-yard line, and that'll put him maybe in 4th down territory. They do have a kicker that can send it through from here, but they are a 4th down team. They're 14 of 14 this year. Will they make it as Tagaloa Nelson made the tackle here?
Yeah, watch Carr weave through traffic there and pick up more than he probably should have got on the play. The screen pass was defended well, but because of Carr being able to evade tackles, he gets them into 4th and manageable.
4th down from the 28. It's 4th down and 3. They haven't missed one all year, and they still have it. They're 15 for 15. You would normally say that's a gamble, but Lane Fitzgerald knows his team. He uses the left side of the line, and they have been perfect on 4th downs, and they're perfect there.
Yeah, they're getting so much of a push off the snap that there's no way the Colonels could have stopped that run on the left side, and it's just straight ahead with Dye, and he's so strong with that low center of gravity that it's really hard to defend that even on 4th and 3 unless you bring everybody up to the side.
That 3rd meeting ever between Southern Utah and Eastern Kentucky could be the last because Southern Utah heading for the Big Sky where they used to be. Southern Utah won last year in a big way out in Cedar City by 21. EKU by 7 in a game that was tied at 7-14, 21 and 28. They were in the Big Sky from 2012 to 2021, then spent these last 3 years in the UAC, 1 year in the WAC when it combined, before it combined with the United Athletic Conference. Back to probably what fits them the best next year, though, Jim, the Big Sky.
Yeah, and they've got much less travel there. They're pretty much their rival, and you'd think Utah Tech would be their rival, but we talked with the play-by-play guy on radio here from Utah, and he said, no, it's probably more like Weber State. And so they'll be back in a conference that they have a lot less travel in, and they don't have to go to so many time zones. They've been in 4 time zones this year.
One of 3 FCS teams that has played football now in 4 time zones. The others are Weber State and Portland State. There's a little more land out west. The travel's a little further.
A little spread out
than when you get in the Northeast or the Deep South. This conference stretches from Georgia to Alabama to Tennessee to Kentucky to Texas, and for one more year, Utah. But Utah Tech, who's moved up from Division II to Division I, along with Southern Utah, moving to the Big Sky. New set of downs after making it on 4th down and 3. And they're from the 21 of the Colonels in a 3-3 game. And Dye that time will go negative yards, which is rare. And the tackle by Eastern Kentucky's Frank Lee, the 4th, the Jack linebacker. 5.5 tackles for loss on the year now.
Yeah, he's had a good couple of weeks here recently. Lee's been heavily involved in the EKU defense and making tackles, and that time able to shed the block that was supposed to set the edge and make his way into the backfield to make sure Dye goes down.
2nd down and 12 now after the negative loss by Dye. He'll be offset, tight end moving as well. Throw it to the near side, open receiver for the 1st down to about the 7-yard line, and he was wide open in Anson Kraut, the redshirt junior from Beaumont, California. Same high school as Gabe Nunez.
You're going to see it coming into your living room right there, and then the hit put on by Tisdale, but they caught the corners, the outside guys kind of sitting back in a zone. That allowed that soft spot underneath to be open. Long throw to make, but it got there in plenty of time.
In the red zone for the 2nd time, toss sweep, Dye got the corner, has the pylon, and it'll be a touchdown for Southern Utah. And they lead 9-3. Top touchdown scorer in the football championship subdivision, ups his total to 12, and he has now scored 120 points, top among all 129 teams.
Look at the blocking on the outside there. Receivers, tight ends, everybody doing their job just enough to allow Dye to make the dive for the pylon and get it in for 6.
94-yard drive. Remember, they started at their own 6, and they go for 6 at the end to put 6 on the board. And now the PAT kick by Rogers. Splits uprights. It's 10-3 Southern Utah in meeting number 3 between Eastern Kentucky and Southern Utah.
The first to put a touchdown on the board, though. 13:47 to go in the 2nd period. A 6-yard touchdown run by Joshua Dye, showing you why he's leading that category across the nation. 9 plays, 94 yards, 5 minutes and 43 seconds on the drive, Greg. And these teams are taking about 5 minutes per drive. This will be only the 4th drive of the game when EKU gets the ball.
This one into the wind. There'll be a chance here. Who's going to get it? They must have put a fair catch signal up as the head linesman blows his whistle.
Pretty sure it was Mitchell.
And that's what happened. So there's a mental mistake. That sun could have caused him a problem, may have naturally gone up with it. We'll wait and see what the referee tells us.
Well, he's not looking into the sun. The sun's behind him there. So I'm not sure. There's a flag.
Yep.
Are they going to say that he gave a fair catch and then ran?
John Kellermeyer is your referee.
Well, he's not going to tell us.
Not going to tell us a thing. Hey, John, we want to know what's going on.
Wow.
And so after Southern Utah had a bobbled kick that on the return that started them at their own 6, they went 94 yards. EKU's got to go 90 to tie this football game early on in quarter 2. And he goes for 5 yards.
Good push up the middle that time, and the new guy at center, Gully, kind of leading the way on the charge there.
For the new running back, Brady Hensley, who rotates with Latham.
And Hensley he's kind of shown a little bit more consistency over the last few games for the Colonels. So he gets in on the 2nd drive of the game here for the EKU Colonel offense.
It was listed as a fair catch, by the way, on our official stat monitor. 2nd minute of the 2nd quarter. Hensley cuts the corner with room. Gets a good block in the edge. And is hammered out of bounds at about the 45-yard line or a little bit beyond.
I think Burkett did a nice job of selling the RPO here.
Took it from the 15 out to the 46 for 31 here, Jim.
Yeah, really nice sell by Burkett. Then gives the ball at the last moment to Hensley. Great blocking on the right side. The EKU receivers have been blocking better since they opened the season with some poor blocking techniques against Louisville.
The block downfield from Jaden West who's back in after missing a couple of games with a patella tendon strain. Two-step drop, slant high pass, picked off. Went off the hands of the receiver, Cowwise, and picked off and returned by Raymond Crump. That's on the quarterback, but EKU may have gotten the ball back. On the return, we'll have to wait and see.
I think they did. They knocked it out of the hands of the man who intercepted, which was Michael Cruz. Oh, no, check that. I'm sorry, Raymond Crump. Crump was the one that made the interception.
Recovered by Eastern Kentucky. First down.
Ron Van Jr. looked like he may have been the player that knocked it out. Turning defensive back. Let's watch it again here.
Yeah, too high for Cowwise. He has to go up, goes off his hands. He does get a hand on Crump, and then Van coming from behind knocks the ball out, recovered by EKU. So a really nice job of Van of keeping his head in the game, realizing that he needs to come back and make a play, and he does so.
So back-to-back turnovers on the same play, both by guys who wore number 6. 6 in white intercepted it. 6 in maroon caused it. Quarterback draw for Burkett, the Wisconsin and Albany transfer.
Oh.
And he'll get it up, and here comes a flag late.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Blake Stillwell was trying to do. They go helmet to helmet on the tackle. Burkett is saying he got hit with the crown of the helmet. He wants the targeting call. But the flag was thrown after Stillwell got up and got into the face of the quarterback, Burkett, on the field.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense, number 12, his first. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Played at Montana State the last 2 years, but just 3 games out of Winter Garden, Florida.
And he's off the field. They bring him to the sideline quickly. Watch Burkett, gets up, good run. So he doesn't get hit with the crown of the helmet. It was the shoulder, but Stillwell gets right up and bumps him in the helmet and kind of postures a little bit, so he gets the flag.
That'll pull him out of the game. Kirtles will take it at the 37, down 10-3. Backwards pass, and now Cowwise fakes the throw, cuts it back, turns the corner in between the hashes, and they still get out of the play about 5 yards.
Henry Harper saves a touchdown possibly by staying at home and being able to make the tackle as Cowwise reverses field. So this was set up to throw the pass down from Cowwise. It was a backwards lateral. He doesn't throw the pass, realizes the receiver's covered, tries to make his way upfield, reverse to the other side, and that's when Harper got him.
Turns into a run for 5. Hensley, and good extra effort there. It was stopped originally at about the 31, got down to the 29, and it'll be 3rd and short. Go back to Cowwise in high school at Newton, Georgia, where he played for the Rams. He had 12 touchdown receptions, 2 on the ground and 2 that he threw. So he threw a little bit in high school. 3rd down and 2 at the 29 of Southern Utah as EKU tries to answer in their second drive. A long 94-yard touchdown drive by Southern Utah, and the score by Dye. Hensley got a hole, but then they plug it. Boy, I thought it was going to be there to get to the 27, and now will EKU do what Southern Utah did and make it on 4th down. Remember, Southern Utah made it on 4th down and 3.
Henry Harper again. Harper is all over the field, plus you've got a guy going in there from the secondary and Tavian Edwards, the safety. They have absolutely shut down that last running play to make EKU go into a 4th down situation, and it looks like the offense is going to stay out there.
It'll be 4th down and 1. They're 3 of 8 on 4th downs. That was a good play by Tavian Edwards, the true freshman. Hensley, enough room, maybe. It all depends on the spot.
Looks like to me he got there.
Yeah, they needed the 37. They had linesman marks it just the 27. He marks it just past and he'll move the chains. So both teams making it on 4th down.
Keeps the drive going, and that's what the Colonels wanted. But again, good blocking up front gives them just enough to get inside and move the sticks down the field.
Got it on 4th and 1 from the 28 to the 27. Just 2 drives for each team. We're down near the 9-minute mark of the first half. Hensley leaks out of the backfield. Burkett adjusts, runs, throws, caught Cowwise. Running room to the pylon and into the end zone. Burkett with an adjustment. Cowwise with his 4th touchdown catch in the last game and a half. 27 yards, and we're a PAT away from being tied at 10.
Yeah, that's a play breaking down, and Burkett making something happen. Cowwise coming back to his quarterback, but Burkett has been so good at escaping pressure, knowing when to step through the pocket or get to the outside. Cowwise comes back across the field to help his quarterback out, wide open, able to elude 2 defenders to get to the corner.
Equals the longest drive of the year for the 3rd time. They had it against Austin Peay and Nichols from 90 yards. They do it again. A pair of 90-yard-plus drives, and we're tied at 10 in Richmond.
Touchdown pass is the scoring play for Eastern Kentucky. They tie the game after the Flaviano extra point. It was Burkett hitting Cowwise. Now the drive, you would think, would have been 90 yards because they took it at their own 10 after that kickoff that was signaled fair catch. But instead you have the interception, then the fumble back to EKU. That means it's only a 6-play, 63-yard drive that took 1 minute and 21 seconds, Greg. So kind of an odd situation there, but it cuts down the drive numbers and drive time.
You're right. Thank you for catching my mistake. But it went 90 yards. It just had a little bit of an interlude in
hitch.
it. Yeah.
Little hitch.
Kickoff pinching to the end zone. They're going to fake it. They're going to come it out. Same guy last time that ran Sawyer. He wanted to run, but he didn't. And now Eastern Kentucky will see if they can find the first defensive stop of the day. Well, a pair of field goals by each team. It was the first field goal, 39 yards for the Thunderbirds, answered by a 36-yarder by EKU. Then we had the drive to score for Eastern Kentucky to answer the one by Southern Utah, which theirs was 94 yards. But again, that Ron Van play after the interception on the high throw, to not give up on it, to come back and turn defensive back, was huge, as you said.
Yeah, Burkett threw that ball too high for Cowwise, went off his hands, and you had the Crump interception, but Van comes back to cause the fumble.
On the slant, caught by the guy that had the long 44-yard catch, Shane Carr, and he'll pick up 13 on the play from the 25 to the 38, where Tisdale out of Bowling Green, Kentucky, started his career at Kentucky there 2 years before injuring an ACL his 3rd year. As you see the play there. And then out to Colorado for a brief spell, 3 games in 23.
Boy, Barron picked the right time to throw that, because just a fraction of a second more and the defense would have been right on top of him.
173 yards for Southern Utah, 148 EKU. The offense has won the battle today on both sides. On the first down run, 3 to the 41-yard line by Dye. Bailey met him and dropped him.
You can just see how tough he is to bring down by how EKU is having to wrap him up and then have help from behind to come and bring him to the turf. So strong, and again, the low center of gravity. Very, very impressive, Joshua Dye.
10 carries, 54 yards, 5.4 average today. 6.6 is average on the year per carry. 7th best at FCS. Hand off to Dye. They'll pound up the middle, and it'll be 3rd and short if the whistle blows, and it does after we had a big scrum between the two teams. Nobody went to the ground. Forward progress stopped at the 45. It'll be 3rd down and 3. Can a defense get a stop at a 10-10 game as we have hit the halfway mark of the 2nd quarter?
Well, I'm not sure if they have stopped Dye moving forward, but one time you had a tackle on the edge as you had Frank Lee make a tackle in the backfield one time. Other than that, it's been a good 3-4 yards a carry for Dye.
With his touchdown earlier today, he's had a touchdown in every game except the one against San Diego. The power blocking is to the left with a tight end and a wing, and out of the pistol, Dye. Oh, there's a big gap. He adjusts, breaks tackles, and all the way down to the Colonel 38-yard line. Football comes out, but was he down?
I think they're going to say fumble.
Kentucky up with the football for now, but let's wait and see how they rule it, as right now they're spotting it as though it will be EKU football. Looked like originally to me it was DJ Galva, but I may have misread it there.
Yeah,
Lane Fitzgerald out on the field saying, hey.
He's still down on the turf, too. Galva, they've had to bring the trainer out to look at him. Now, the officials nobody has made any signal whatsoever, and I think that's huge right now.
There's one guy making a signal, but he's the head coach of EKU in year 6. And on the other side, Lane Fitzgerald in year 4 out on the other side talking to the line judge. Here's the play.
See if the ball comes out before he hits. I'm not sure about that. Couldn't tell at the very end of that whether or not it came out before he hit the turf.
Will it be the
Southern Utah? Timeout for an injured player.
With the call, and the injured player DJ Galva will take the timeout and sort it out for you. Would we return?
I mean, it took you a couple of minutes to go over and have a meeting with everybody and then tell us that the call on the field was that he was down. And I think they missed one there. I think they've got to make the indication of which way that's going to go instead of having a meeting and allowing that radio headset to tell you what happened on the play.
Well, I would agree that. So they say it's upheld. They eventually told us the ruling on the field
but after
was
the
upheld,
meeting.
but it was after a while,
yeah.
Right? And then they sent it to the replay booth after they told us what happened on the field. And Walt Wells continues to plead his case, and it's going to be in vain to John Kellermeyer and the replay official up in the booth in Lyndon Jacobson, or EKU would have had a +1 in turnover margin. Eastern Kentucky comes in turnover margin 25th best in the by at +4, and Southern Utah comes in at +1 last year in the 21-point win by the Birds by the T-Birds out in Cedar City. They had a +2 in turnover margin.
What's so important in replays is that the call on the field is either upheld or it's overturned. And we did not get a call on the field until a long meeting in which the time that was spent, the radio call could have been made from the replay booth down to the field to tell them which way to go with it. And I've got an issue with that one.
Well, Garnell Wilds is the new cornerback with the injury to DJ Galva. Remember, Galva got the start after the injury early on in the year to Rashad Hentz. So they're down to a now third-string cornerback. Trying to strike long, waiting, adjusting, throwing along the sidelines. Did he get a foot down? The official says yes at the 33-yard line, and the catch was made by Devin Downing, the sophomore from American Fork, Utah.
You're able to see, though, the elusiveness of Barron in the backfield. No, he's not a guy that's going to take off and get 10, 12, 15 yards on a quarterback scramble after the play breaks down. But what he does, he keeps his eyes downfield, and he's able to get his receivers to come back to him and still make a play.
Picked up 6, second down and 4, tied at 10. Under 6 in the first half. Dye stopped at the 31. It'll be third down at about 1.5 yards. They have to get it just shy of the 29.
How about the true freshman Brock Driver coming in there and part of that tackle? So you've got some young guys out there on the field right now for Walt Wells' defense.
6'2 freshman out of Danville, Boyle County High School, a football powerhouse here in the Commonwealth.
But again, you see Southern Utah get into 3rd and short. They've been in 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2 a lot over the last couple of drives.
1 for 3 on third downs. Dye stood up, and then an extra surge to the 29. He may have, on the spin, got the first down. We'll wait and see where they mark it. Line judge running in, giving him a pretty good spot there. He needed just shy of the 29. I think they're going to move the chains here, and they will.
Yep. Give Dye credit. I mean, just kept going. He got 1 contact. He got 2 contacts and just kept going and leaning forward, running behind his pads. Looks really, really good.
Sullivan eventually made the stop, but a little bit too late.
He's as advertised. I mean, everything you've heard about him coming in, he is the real deal at running back.
They bring Rand Sawyer in, a backup running back, and he goes in motion. Handoff Dye away from that motion. And Dye breaks tackles, keeps going, Pyle pushing, and they wagon train their way down to the 18-yard line. That was a nice run there of 11 yards by Dye. Yeah. This drive kept alive by a ruling that went to the replay booth and was upheld on a fumble that was not allowed due to the player being down on the field.
Dye just keeps behind those blockers, able to kind of hide, then get around to the edge before anybody knows where he's at.
Already 89 yards on the ground for Dye, number 2 rusher in the country. Low snap, but they got it off to Dye. Finds a gap. He cuts back, and then EKU's defense swarms its way left to stop him at the 15. He almost cut back to territory that was going to be clean to the end zone, but the EKU defense swarmed left and got him.
Galva back out there for the Colonel's defense. He is back out there on that left side as one of the corners, and he gets involved in that tackle, so he must be feeling better. Brad Gurley chases the ball carrier down from behind.
Their starting nose tackle, Tommy Ziesmer, got hurt 2 plays ago, so they've lost Galva, and they've lost
Galva's
Ziesmer.
Back out there.
Yeah, so Galva is back. Thanks. Dye. They fake to him. A one-handed catch to keep it alive. A bobbling catch behind him, and what a turning catch by the guy there on the near side that opened this game with a catch in Hayden George, the Nevada transfer. That was beautiful.
Yeah, Barron in trouble. Watch him get in a little bit of trouble here. Realize he's got to get rid of it. Throws it a little bit out of the reach of George, but he's able to get a fingertip on it. That's the old tip drill. Got it to himself and able to get the first down.
And it was Galva who's back in, as Jim said, made the play, and their goal to go at the 8 and a 10-10 game as the clock hits 2.5 minutes in the first half. And whistles. Eastern Kentucky, I believe, who's going to call the timeout? I thought it was it a timeout
the
call?
Field that the rudder made a first down is under further review.
So they're going to look again to see if George was able to gain the first down before he went out of bounds.
Eastern Kentucky's defense came in, allowing 370 yards a game. EKU played really complimentary football in all 3 phases to get a much-needed road win, their first of the year, over Central Arkansas last week. And now Southern Utah trying to extend their win streak to 4 in a row. Here's the replay, Jim.
Take another look at it, where he actually steps out. Is he out there at the 9?
He is, yeah.
Yeah, he steps out at the 9, but even if, I mean, that's still close to the first down marker, because you started the play at the 19. So I'm not sure, you know, do you place the football where he stepped out? Is that going to be ahead of the first down marker? He was still close to it. So
that was definitely, the spot was definitely not correct.
No, they
but
came at the
they
8.
still may have the first down at the 9, but it's definitely out at the 9.
Taking a long time, longer this goes on. And again, you're talking about ball placement, so those typically take a little bit longer.
Jim, it was first down and 10 at the 18. So it should be the 8 to get the first down if I'm reading the play-by-play back. 2:26 to go as you got a good look at John Kellermeyer, the referee. Nick Foreman is his umpire today for this United Athletic Conference crew. 2:26 to go in quarter number 2. It'll be first and goal if it stands.
Here's the thing, though. This is just the 5th drive of the game, and it's 2:26 to go before halftime. So even if the Colonels could get a stop here or force them into a field goal attempt, this is going to be very, very interesting to see if the Colonels can go into the 2-minute drill and get down the field for any type of answer. Now, they've been good recently in the 2-minute drill, but against this Southern Utah defense, that's a different question.
Southern Utah still has an outside chance if everything fell their way and they went out to tie for the conference championship. Here are standings coming in today. Tarleton State upset by Abilene Christian in the Battle of Texas teams last week is idle. If Abilene Christian wins today, they go to 5-1. Southern Utah sitting in third place after those 5 losses in a row. Jim, 6 of their last 7 teams have been ranked when they played them. This has not been an easy schedule. That San Diego loss out of the Pioneer League may hurt them if they can keep it going. Here's the call from the official.
After review, the runner was out at the 9-yard line. It's third down.
So third down and 1 rather than first and goal at the 8. Sunsplash day in the low 60s in Richmond after a rainy yesterday.
Who do you think's going to get the football on 3rd and 1? Here's another look at him coming out right there at the 9-yard line. Foot hits the white. But if I'm in 3rd and 1, I'm Delane Fitzgerald. There's no way I go away from Joshua Dye on this play.
Yeah, he's probably in 4-down territory if they don't get it. Dye is sitting on 92 yards. His average 6.1 yards a carry. His most yards in a game, 204 against Utah Tech. They've got that jumbo package left. Dye is in the pistol. He'll step up, and that's illegal. Now it's a little more dicey there, and that replay overturned.
Offense, number 28, 5-yard penalty, third down.
He didn't know the play.
The clock will start on the snap.
Dye doesn't know the play, so he steps forward to find out from his quarterback what the actual play call is, and that's a false start.
So they had that offensive lineman that was in there to block along with one of their tight ends at Erickson. They come out, they'll go back to their standard package here, but all of a sudden it's 3rd and 6. Before the spot that was incorrect, they were 1st and goal at the 8. Then they were 3rd and 1 at the 9, and now it's 3rd down and 6. They need the 8. Off to Dye, and there's room to run. But he gets slammed down short of the first down at the 10. That was good coverage by Eastern Kentucky, and it was Galva, the kid out of Bartow, Florida, who came in to make the play.
But watch Aiden Tagaloa Nelson here. Turn him to the inside. Makes him make that move, the spin move. Tagaloa Nelson, Galva teaming up. Really nice job to make that open field tackle. Now, 4th down.
10-10, 2-minute timeout. In 4th down conversions. Converted 1 today on a 4th and 3. They've made all 15. Can they get to 16 in a row? Tied at 10 from the 10-yard line. Dye to the left of Barron. Dye bounces off. He'll head near the end zone and get there. He bounced. Cam Jr. couldn't close the corner. And a nice bounce out and into the end zone for 6. There's no team better in the country. They've made 16 straight 4th down conversions on the year, and 16 are on the scoreboard now.
Yeah, watch him bounce this to the outside. A little late in the replay there, but as you said, ran into his own man. Thought he was going to get a little more leeway from that outside blocker on the left edge, but just ran into his own man, bounced it to the right side or to the left side, and was able to get away from the defense.
Dye now a nation-leading 13 touchdowns and 126 points. And he is up to 119 yards on the season. PAT makes it 17-10, and so far, neither team has stopped the other on drives. Put an asterisk on that. EKU threw an interception, but on the interception return, the fumble that EKU recovered. So technically, EKU has been stopped on a drive, but they got the football right back.
And he makes that one on 4th down. 12 plays, 75 yards on the drive. But, Greg, it takes 7 minutes and 14 seconds to go down the field in that drive and take the lead once again. So they're able to edge back out in front. And as I said earlier, 1:51 to go in the quarter. Does EKU have enough time to put a 2-minute drive together, 2-minute drill time? They get the ball at the open of the second half because they deferred.
That is the 8th game out of 10 that Dye has been over 100 yards. He had 4 touchdowns in the narrow loss by 10 on the road to nationally ranked Tarleton State. He also had 4 touchdowns in the loss near the end of the ball game to Northern Arizona. Here comes the kickoff from King. Danny King, high into the sky. 5-yard line. EKU fakes the end around. There's running room if he can make one man miss, and he does to the 30. And, oh, that's a late hit. Flags flying everywhere.
It's a kicker, I think.
Yeah, Danny King, not going to be a king on the sidelines. He's going to be in a little bit of trouble there.
The way his helmet came up, that could even be construed as targeting.
Good news for them, if they do that, would be that they have 2 kickers, King and Rogers. Rogers has done the place kicking for PATs and field goals, and King has been the kickoff man today.
I think this may be targeting, Greg.
After the play was over, personal foul, late hit, kicking team number 3, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Not going to send it to the booth for a targeting. Let's see what we see here. Nice kickoff return there by T.J. Mitchell.
Fake that handoff on the reverse.
No, I don't think so. No targeting.
Hands were up. Hands were up.
All clean, except for he was well out of bounds. Good job getting the Southern Utah players off the enemy sideline, but good field position for EKU on the plus side at the 46-yard line now. Burkett setting in the pocket. He'll scramble and throw it to last minute high. Caught and down the sidelines for Eastern Kentucky with the catch is Jacob Dixon. First catch of the year, first game of the year for Dixon, who has missed the first 9 with a leg injury. 6'4" junior, transfer from Kentucky.
Yeah, and this time Burkett creates a little bit. Has all day to throw, decides to roll out a little bit, goes right over the 2 defenders and into the arms of Dixon.
Dixon gets the first down to the 36. He needed 10, he got 10. And down 17-10, EKU trying to answer again for Latham. Good running room off to the right, and he'll move the chains again down to the 22. Well, the offense has won it against the defense on both sides today so far. Tackle was made by Baron Taylor, the sophomore from Sacramento. Colonel's in the hurry up.
Clock running on them. They have their timeouts, though.
Both teams have all 3 left. Football at the 22. Balance formation from the right hash in the sun. Pressure edges. Burkett takes off. Stiff arms, doesn't get much. Didn't get anything the way they spotted at the 22, and now EKU will use the first of their 3 timeouts. Pressure from the edges was good. The tackle made by Josh Dunn.
Yeah, they kept somebody back just a little bit up the middle, and that caused Burkett to have to slow down once he made his way through the pocket there. Not a lot of time to throw. Things didn't develop down the field. I think he was actually looking at the end zone.
Josh Dunn, he started his career in 2021 at Frostburg State, where the head coach came from, Delane Fitzgerald. You like baseball, Jim?
I love baseball.
Got a little baseball trivia for you. Can you name an alum that had a good career in the major leagues that played at Frostburg State?
Oh, my goodness, boy.
That's a tough one, isn't it?
You're really getting deep on me with that.
I am.
Give me a team.
13 years, Cubs.
Cubs,
I think.
Ryan Sandberg.
No, that's a good guess, though. Jim Riggleman.
Oh, I played for the Washington Nationals, I think, for a little while.
Wasn't he a manager, too?
Yeah, I got a manager's position, so yeah.
Second down and 10 for EKU, trying to answer the 3 scores by Southern Utah. Both teams have a field goal. Southern Utah has 2 rushing touchdowns. EKU has a Cowwise 27-yard touchdown catch. And again, a takeoff by Burkett, pump fake, and open up the hash, and all the way to the end zone, and he fumbled, but he was already in. Touchdown, Eastern Kentucky, Burkett.
Flag down at the end of it, Greg, and this may be targeting.
So Burkett, who said in the press conference that EKU has on Mondays that he is now their 3rd running back. He didn't use his legs last year at the University of Albany, where he is a starter, and he says his offense is starting to find its identity.
I think there's a lot to unpack by this officiating crew, but once again, no indication on the field.
Now we'll get it.
The ruling on the field is a touchdown. Personal foul, targeting, defense. This play is under further review.
Did not give us the number of who is the player that they're going to take a look at, but we'll give it to you as we look at it.
He makes his way to the end zone, kind of gives just a little bit of a duck, and then It's going to be
Mikey Allen.
2-0 Mikey Allen, yeah.
I thought he got his shoulder in there, Jim, and look at it. What did you see? Let's see if we can, if the truck can give us another look at it.
I thought he got a little lower. I didn't. The initial thought was, yeah, targeting. Then watching it slower. Let's watch it one more time. Just at the end here, watch Burkett, little arm fake to get the room, froze the defense. And then at the end, I think he lowered and got the shoulder down before the helmet came in and hit Burkett. So this will probably be overturned.
Not the weak count, but I thought it was clean. John Kellermeyer under the hood again. But a lot of those today. Lyndon Jacobson busy in the replay booth. Again, they're looking at what Mikey Allen did to make the tackle after Burkett had pierced the end zone on a scramble up the middle from 22 yards to make it for the moment. With 58 seconds to go in the first half, 17-16 Southern Utah.
But, Greg, think about everything that was put together there for the Colonels to get a quick score. Take one more look at it here, and this is kind of coming into your living room. Just at the very end, nice block there by Calwise, and doesn't get the, well, from that angle, now it has to be the crown of the, back that up, guys. It has to be the crown of the helmet. Burkett crosses the goal line before, and boy, that's really, really close.
Helmet,
I think that's why it's taken a while.
Helmet hits the face mask there.
I think we got a call coming.
Again, the voice of John Kellermeyer. He's been busy.
After review, the ruling on the field of a touchdown is upheld. There is no foul for targeting. Number 20 may remain in the game.
It was close.
Eastern Kentucky had a player tossed on a roughing the passer, Brad Girdley, last week for a targeting that when we called the game, we did not think it was targeting, but the replay booth upheld it. And then it was overturned in review through standard process when it was reviewed on Sunday or Monday. And so Gurley able to play all the way. To tie it is Buzz Flabiano, who, by the way, played, here's a low snap by Luganville. But they get it down. Good hold by the punter, Baker, in time. And Eastern Kentucky has tied it up at 17-all. It's been offense winning against defense on both sides today, Jim.
One thing I was trying to form the thought of was, well, everything that went right for EKU on that drive. They get the big kickoff return. They got a late hit penalty, so they start in opponent's territory. They still have a minute 40-something at that point. They're able to get down the field on some big chunk plays. They started at the 46-yard line of Southern Utah, and it only takes them 4 plays to get that 46 yards in 44 seconds with Burkett, that 22-yard touchdown run. They tie it on the Flabiano extra point. But, Greg, everything's right. Now think about this. EKU gets the football to start the second half. If they can make a stop here, they're kind of, it's like breaking serve in tennis. You get that advantage by holding them with only 58 seconds to go.
This is a quick strike offense for Southern Utah. By the way, that was a 35-yard kickoff return by Mitchell to set up the short field. Second good kickoff return in as many weeks from the 2 and up to the 25-yard line with a flag down at the 40.
That happened in the first one. Oh, goodness, somebody coming up limping there. It looks like that might have been Johnson.
Yeah, Kashawn Johnson, freshman from Inglewood, California. Tackle
Personal
was
foul,
made by Driver.
Illegal blindside block, 31, receiving team. Penalties half the distance to the goal line, first down.
Blindside block, that's a 15-yarder, and man.
That's by Josiah Dye.
And you with just 53 seconds left to go in the half, that is a killer.
Whitehead's earning his money today. He's been busy, just in the clock, but mostly being in contact with the replay booth on a couple of plays that were 50-50 calls. Looking at the Wilson, sitting on the turf here at Roy Kidd Stadium, where Eastern Kentucky has played football for 57 years now, named after the late Roy Kidd, the Hall of Fame coach, top 10 all-time in wins in college football history.
Southern Utah does have all 3 timeouts, so they can afford to take some chances here with the offense.
They've started at their own 22, own 6, own 25, scored every time they've had the football, and they're going to the air here, and they'll go short with running room, and it is Nunez, and Nunez will get up to the 30-yard line, and they'll be in the hurry-up. With 46 seconds, they'll stop the clock to move the chains. They'll not burn a timeout there. Ward made the stop. Clap of the hands, good snap. Receiver out, caught, and will he get out of bounds? He will on Shane Carshall.
Yeah, Tisdale just giving him way too much room. He doesn't want to get beat deep on anything, so he gave him a lot of cushion there. Watch how much cushion there is when this pass is caught. Just way too much. He does come up and make the tackle, but I think you gotta play a little bit more press here. I know you're trying to guard against the big play.
5 catches by Carr, 2 by George, 2 by Nunez. 3 other players have a catch. 1st and 10 already to the 42. They moved at 17. They'll dump it to Nunez, and they'll probably have to burn a timeout here as they get to the 47-yard line, and the clock is stopped with 27 seconds to go. That wasted a bit of time, Jim, but they have 2 timeouts left, and they have a dynamic offense led by...
Please put 28 seconds on the game clock. 28.
Led by Bronson Barron out of American Fork High School in Utah. I love the nickname of American Fork High School.
Give it to me.
The Cavemen.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good one. We'll have to play the mascot game with that one of these days.
Well, I tossed a little high school trivia to you. Give me a current Division I FBS head coach that graduated from American Fork High School in Utah.
My goodness. Yeah, I'm way in the weeds on this one. I have no idea.
Well, he hadn't left the state currently to have a head coaching job.
Kyle Whittingham?
Bronco Mendenhall up at Utah State.
Right.
Well, this is how you move the football downfield quick late.
Yeah, they're able to. Bronson Barron has impressed me with his accuracy. He is really on target with a lot of his passes today, and they're just taking what the defense is giving them. The secondary is backed up, guarding against the big play, so they're underneath that secondary.
Doing pretty well. He's 12 of 13, managing the game well. He's had 3 touchdowns on 2 occasions. Looking long this time, double pumping, been sacked once. The outlet man. This will burn time, trying to get out of bounds, and he dives and makes it. EKU's sidelines wanting the clock to run, but he was able to get out of bounds, but with 19 seconds to go, a pass midfield to the 47-yard line.
He's also a guy, Barron is, the quarterback, that is able to realize that he's got pressure and another timeout called by Southern Utah. But he realizes where the pressure's coming from. He steps up. He's not going to take off running as much as Burkett does, but he does step up and is able to create after that. Find the open guy, get out to the outside, get away from the pressure, elude, and live to fight another day.
13 of 14 now through the air as he nears the 100-yard mark. They've been across midfield every time they've had the football, and they're warming up just in case they need to go long. Neil Diamond gets them moving, doesn't he? On the PA right now.
Football games, weddings, doesn't make any difference. It's universal now.
17-17, 19 seconds to go, first half. 1 timeout left because they had to burn it after the first down there. Trying to get in field goal range, if not get a quick strike. Let's see if they go long here, try to chip it away. Throwing long, well covered, and a diving attempt, but the catch not made by the defender. Doesn't matter. He was going to be well out of bounds. Tisdale played that well. Kernels played it well. Now it's 2nd down and 10 at the 47 of EKU with 12 seconds to go. What do you do? Throw 1 to get into field goal range here if you can complete it?
Yeah, I think you go underneath, use your timeout. I mean, it's going to be very difficult to complete an underneath pass, take a shot at the end zone, and get the field goal in.
You have one kicker who's hit in his career from 50, the other, the kickoff man, King, from 52 this year. struggling to get out of the pocket and move right with 5 seconds to go. And now you basically got a Hail Mary to get points on the board because you're down to 4 seconds to go. It's not going to be a sack. He got
to the line of scrimmage.
7 seconds.
Maybe.
Got back to the line of scrimmage, so no sack, but it's like a sack there.
Yeah, and then I think you're way too far outside of the range. I don't think you even take a shot here with your field goal.
No, absolutely.
I think you've got to take your shot at the end zone, throw it up. Maybe even kind of run something gimmicky. You can do hook and ladder, something along those lines. Maybe something breaks open for you.
Jim, it would be a 64-yarder if we were at altitude, like in Cedar City, or not. We're below 1,000 feet of altitude. I can see the foothills of the Appalachians from 91 feet above this playing surface here at Roy Kidd Stadium. They're going to just throw one down at EKU. How many guys will they put back in the secondary here?
He'd also be kicking into the wind, which has been gusting up to around 12, 14 miles an hour. So tough
down now, but here we go. They've got trips left, one right, running back into block. And now Walt Wells says, I've got a timeout to burn. And he'll take his second.
Wanted to see how they lined up.
Just can't let them get into the end zone. EKU has been victimized by this play at the end of the Central Arkansas game 2 years ago from 46 yards away on a Hail Mary after Eastern Kentucky had stolen one on a 90-yard drive in less than a minute. That was a tremendous game down in Conway.
I will say this, if you throw something underneath and you're on, it has to be on the sideline. You can't be in the middle of the field. But if you throw something underneath and can get to the sideline and out of bounds in less than 6 seconds, you might give your field goal kicker an opportunity to kick a long one here.
That's a great point. They put it all the way back to 7 seconds, Jim. So they were gracious on the amount of time given back. So that's a good point. 17-17. They may try to do exactly what Jim said here. Back to pass. Moving the pocket. They're going to throw it long. It's lofted up for grabs. Who's going to come down with it? And it is incomplete. There were 4 maroon jerseys around, and 3 of them are down on the turf. There's Taylor.
Tisdale,
and one more. Let's hope the walking wounded are okay. And Eastern Kentucky will head to its locker room. We're tied at 17. Bang, bang, bang. The guy that had his hands on it knocked 3 other colonels down. It was a bowling lane that occurred right there at the end.
Yeah, it was Galva, the other colonel, that's still down, and they're still looking at 2 or 3 of them. Galva's bent over. Tisdale looks like he's up and okay.
Nothing settled through the first 30 minutes. Southern Utah and Eastern Kentucky not at a temperature in the upper 60s. About 60% of the field still in sun. And in game number 10 of the year, we go to the second half tied at 17. And Mitchell will let it go over his head. He had a 35-yard return that set up the tying touchdown. Eastern Kentucky has never been ahead in this game, tied it at 3-10-17 when they won here. The only other time they played at Richmond, EKU had leads at 7, 14, 21, and 28, but it was an answering touchdown every time by Southern Utah until the last touchdown of the game by Eastern Kentucky to win it. Last year, it was a runaway by 21 out in Cedar City for Southern Utah.
I think this is a huge drive. Can EKU keep the momentum that they've had on offense?
Well, this is a team that has struggled at times on defense, Southern Utah. They've been better on offense. Here is the run to the left side for the starting running back, Latham, and he'll get a scant 1 or 2 depending on the spot. Latham, only his 6th carry of the day for 53 yards now. Tackle made by one of those big fellows on the line in Seni Tuiaki. out of Inglewood, California, Utah State transfer.
I think that this defense for Southern Utah is too fast to be able to stretch plays out east to west. They're just able to recover too quickly to be able to do that.
2nd down and 9. Burkett to pass. Adjusts the pocket to get away from a sack, and he'll throw it away as he's out of the pocket. Came right at the head coach there with a white visor on. And now EKU into 3rd and 9. And on 3rd down conversions today, they're 2 for 4 on the year, 32%, which was 114th out of 129 teams playing FCS. EKU goes to 4 receivers wide here.
They have not been in 3rd and long very often today. They had one where they were behind the sticks, 3rd and 15. They have not been in 3rd and long very often.
Converted quarterback Colby Lamberth comes in at tight end. Russell, the other tight end who made his first collegiate catch, the redshirt senior, out. They've got to get 9 yards. Pressure's on. Burkett will throw, and Latham made the catch down around his feet, but shy of the 1st down as the pressure was hot and heavy there.
Yeah, bursting through the line to get at him, and he has had a big game as Simon Gee, the defensive lineman, redshirt sophomore.
No, it was Trayvon Swanigan out of Kearns, Utah,
right.
the junior. Transferred from Coastal Carolina, where he played just 1 game.
But he had 2 plays in a row where he was able to break through the line and get to the backfield and cause Burkett to rush out.
First punt of the game, either side. Baker, and no fair catch, and reversal for Nunez, and he'll lose a yard. Well, a chancy effort by Nunez, the wide receiver. He had a 22-yard return twice. 23 is career high, but that one goes -1. And the tackle for Eastern Kentucky, among many that got down there, was Tavarian James, the freshman from Belglade, Florida.
As the season started, EKU had some issues on punt coverage, but they've cleaned those up as they've gotten deeper into the conference schedule. Again, able to get the gunner down there quickly. Nunez has to go east-west to find any running room at all.
So EKU, for the first time, either team goes 3 and out, first punt of the day. And now, a man that has not been able to be stopped today on drives, Bronson Barron, goes back to work with a pistol to the pistol running back, and he's in trouble, and a flag comes down from the umpire.
Bailey's had a big game for EKU today on the defensive line. He's another
holding offense, number 73, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Do you take that, though, or do you decline it? I mean, you lose yardage on it.
I think you take it because it puts them 10 yards behind the stick.
I don't think you give them 3 downs here. You don't count, I don't count. We can guess, right? And they're going to take it. You're on target
about it. I think they're on this end of the field. You take that to get them that far behind the sticks and make them go 20 to pick up the 1st down.
Their drives have gone 56 yards, 94 yards, and 75 today. And now they are backed up 1st and 20. Twin backs this time between each side of Barron. Left halfback Dye lowers the shoulder, got up over the 15 to about the 17 for a pickup of 3. He left the game earlier in the first half. Back in, Tommy Ziesmer, the nose tackle, transfer from Kentucky.
And he gets up limping again, so he's battling through something on a lower extremity type of injury, staying out there and trying to play tough for his team. Again, you only give up about 3 yards on that 1st down play, so you still have him behind the sticks, and I think that's what Walt Wells was thinking.
This is a 2nd down and long play, 2nd and 17. Balance formation from the far hash, and a quick pass underneath, spinning away from Kirtles, and then banged forward on the tackle from behind to the 26. EKU trying to claim the ball came out. Vito Tisdale turning referee, but I don't think it's going to turn the other way.
Gurley, I think, coming from the backside to make this tackle. Let's see if that's him that comes up from behind. Yeah, it is Gurley. What a season he's had.
Well, ball came out was the runner still on top of a Colonel. Watch this here on the catch by Carr.
Think we're going to get a timeout here?
Injured Colonel on the field. We have a timeout. We'll take a break. We'll tell you who it is. It looks like it is Brad Gurley, tied at 17 in Richmond.
Here's another look at the play that just took place as Carr spins away and then is on top of Gurley when the football comes out. Colonels thought that they had a good claim here for a turnover on a fumble recovery. As Gurley makes the tackle, does Carr lose the football before any other part of his body hits the turf? It's a good argument there, but they are not going to the replay here, Greg, to take a second look at that.
And I don't see Eastern Kentucky begging for it to go to replay booth. 3rd and 8 here. Remember, they had a hold that set him back 1st and 20. It's 3rd and 8 on 3rd down conversions today. They're just 2 for 6. Pressure from the edges. Barron adjusts the pocket, and a wide open receiver across midfield. And they will move the chains on a 3rd and 8 and a big strike. The secondary receiver was able to pull it in, and that is Anson Kraut.
Yeah, Kraut somehow gets lost in the shuffle. But again, Barron, play breaks down, rolling out. He's able to find an open receiver. So creating on the fly, Kraut got lost in the defense, and it's a huge play for the Thunderbirds.
So on a 3rd and 8, they strike for 30. So they were at their own 22. They're down to the 37. Make it 39 yards officially. 39-yard delivery. 2-step drop, all kinds of time, and that one dislodged. It was low to the waist of the receiver, Whistler.
Now it's Carr again.
Oh, it's Carr. You're
coming
right.
Across the field, and I think he knew that Jaheim Ward was bearing down, had a target on him. As the pass got to him, he tried to look up before securing the football and still got the hit from Ward anyway. But Carr heard footsteps that time.
Carr, 5 catches on 7 targets today. 2nd and 10 for the Colonel 37 at a tie game for Dye. Fake to him and the throw to the right. That's the second time that Barron has faked me out, and EKU was able to cover down the sidelines intended for Nunez.
Well, don't feel bad. He got me too. I was looking at Dye. I thought he gave the football to him, but he pulled it out, rolls out to the right. That's the first time that I've seen Barron on that little over-the-top pass be that inaccurate. He threw that a good 5 yards beyond his receiver, Nunez. So not accurate on that pass, and that's not happened very often today.
They converted on a 3rd and 8 in their own territory. 3rd and 10 here.
They may be in 4-down territory too.
On the year, top 25, 45% from the Colonel 37 in a tie game. In trouble, and a big chance to run for the first down and get there is Barron. He read that right, Jim. He took out of the pocket as it was collapsing at the right moment, and they'll move the chains on a 3rd and 10 scramble to the 27.
So the pocket collapses, and he moves out to the left side of the offense. All of the pass routes were on the other side of the field. Everything had been ran to the right side, so there's no defenders in that area that can come up and make a tackle on him before he picks up the first down. Again, Barron being a smart quarterback.
15 of 20 through the air for the American Fork Utah product. Here's Dye trying to find a gap. They hop at his back. Pick up a 4 on first down. Let's give him 5 officially from the 27 to the 22. Tackle made by EKU's 3rd leading tackler, Braden Sullivan, out of New Smyrna Beach, Florida. And tied at 17. We've only had one punt that came on EKU's opening drive of the second half when they went 3 and out.
I was just getting ready to say, why did you go away from Joshua Dye? Then they run that inside play with him. They may get back to him here.
18 carries, 110 yards. Going to go right back there on the keeper by Barron. And the redshirt senior will take it down to the 19-yard line. And it'll be 3rd down and 2. They're 4 for 8 at 50% today. One of the better teams in the country in third down conversions. They've been at 50% or better 4 games this year.
Here comes that extra offensive lineman for a little bit more bulk on 3rd and 3. Looks like they will probably go to the Joshua Dye playbook.
And Gurley back in. Jalen Hand back up nose in as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 EKU Colonels up front. They will go to Dye. He'll cut through the hole off the left side, guard and tackle, and find the first down to the 16. They've got that running play going when they need short yardage. Tackle by Cam Jr., the son of a former All-America in EJ Jr. at Alabama in the College Football Hall of Fame.
I think Delane Fitzgerald has taken a page out of the Walt Wells playbook. Inside zone. That's a zone blocking play. Move everything to the right. Give Dye enough room to make it off the edge, and it's, as you said, work time and time again to pick up a first down.
Third down conversions, 3rd and 8 and 3rd and 10 in this drive, and a new set of downs as they look to go ahead. Double pumping, throwing open receiver Nunez, but that one overthrown by Bronson Barron.
And some discontent in the secondary for EKU. Cam Jr., who was the underneath guy, thought that he was releasing the responsibility of Nunez out there to Garnell Wilds Jr., who is arguing back that he had the over-the-top guy. So they need to get on the same page in the secondary.
Alila Alafula is in as well for a back as they go 2 backs here. The other one, of course, is Dye. Handoff, running back trying to come left. Shed 1 tackle in the backfield. And just a yard play. It was Bailey who almost got the big TFL. He didn't. Slowed the play down, and the nose tackle Ziesmer made it. And here we are in third down territory again. 3rd and 9 at the EKU 15. They made it at their own 22 and the Colonel 37.
With the exception of that second Joshua Dye touchdown run in the first half, both teams have played that outside running game very, very well up to this point.
Stevens and Tagaloa Nelson come into the Colonel defense as they pull an extra lineman. Frank Lee creeps up on the right side. They move Dye from the right to the left to Barron. Big play here. Over the middle, incomplete. Intended for the top target today, Shane Carr. And now they'll go for the go-ahead field goal here at 7:06 of quarter 3.
The zone, you've got Taylor underneath. You've got Ward over the top. They combine to make sure that doesn't get into the hands of Carr. But the pass a little bit thrown high. That's the second time in this drive we've seen Barron be inaccurate.
32-yard field goal attempt for Rogers. Hit one earlier today, instead of 14 on the year. But just 3 of 6 from the 30-yard range. But plenty of leg, and he was bullseye there. At Eastern Kentucky has never been ahead in this game. Another chance with 7:02 to go in the third. They'll get the football back down 20-17.
51 yards, 6 minutes and 22 seconds. So, Greg, they've had one drive, ended in a touchdown, 7:14, and another one at 6:22. They have taken a lot of time on offense.
Flip the lights on. The sun is about set here. And here's the kickoff to the back of the end zone by King. And Eastern Kentucky will come back at the 25. They had their golden opportunity. They played toe for toe with a high-powered Southern Utah offense in the first half. Both teams had a field goal, 2 touchdowns. Got the ball to start the second half, but then couldn't get anything going. The only 3 and out of the ball game to start the second half. The only punt. And now what will they do here in the second one? Marcus Kalwise has been the guy that's been the go-to. Had 3 touchdowns last week. He's had the lone passing touchdown today from Burkett. But what could EKU do? Can they get that guy that's the reigning OVC Offensive Player of the Week, UAC Offensive Player of the Week going? Burkett scrambling. Pressure's been better this half, and there is a catch along the sidelines by West. That's a tough catch. West back after a couple of games out with an injury, and Burkett scrambles and finds him for a total of 20 yards.
Nice move by West to get away from the defender and going out of bounds. How about the placement of the football on this pass on the run by Burkett? Very, very nice.
EKU playing without its top 3 centers. One of them had to be moved over because of loss at guard. So they're back to what at the start of the year would have been a 4th string center. And they're also playing with a down 2 of their better tight ends today as well. So playing down late in the year, the bumps and bruises get you.
Cowwise came off the field, late substitution. Lamberth comes on, and the officials hold him up and won't let him make the snap because you have to give Southern Utah a chance to equal the substitution. So Walt Wells has to use a timeout.
There you look at Jaden West. And there's Walt Wells in year 6. Wells 34-31, but here at home, he's 24-6. Doesn't shy away from playing 2 FBS teams every year. And you look at the FBS record, 1-11. So against teams on his own level in 6 years, he's 33-20. There's a look at the other side. Delane Fitzgerald, 4 season, 22-21. Go back and look at what he did at Frostburg State and also Southern Virginia, and his record 108-70 overall.
Could that timeout become important late in this game? Right now, you got to think it could be.
6:18 to go. 6th drive of the day for Eastern Kentucky. Hensley in at running back. Good surge off the offensive line there to just shy of midfield for a 4-yard pickup on 1st down. The Colonels have run Latham 6 times for 53 yards. Hensley now 6 for 45.
We saw the defensive line of Southern Utah dictate the pace and what EKU did in their first drive. They went 3 and out. Here the Colonels go back to the running game after a big pass play that was created on the fly by Burkett.
But getting touchdowns in the red zone hadn't been easy. Hensley lowers the helmet, gets to midfield, and that's it. And it'll be 3rd down and 5. And if you can only get 1 first down here and you have to punt it back again, your offense unable to get it going. Burkett kind of arms outstretched. He's not happy with something there, Jim.
Yeah, it looked like he had another dust-up with Blake Stillwell, the safety, who came down. There was a little pushing at the end of the play, and the officials had to break him up.
Right at midfield, 3rd down and 5. Remember, in their field goal scoring drive, they converted on 3rd and 8 and 3rd and 10. What can EKU do? Down 3 now on 3rd and 5 from the midfield stripe with 5 minutes to go in the 3rd. Pressure. Burkett has to take off. They'll get him from behind, and it was the pressure of their star in the middle that came up the middle for the pressure, and it was Parker Andrus, the sophomore from St. George, and Burkett is dropped for a loss of 2, and the offense sputtering here in the second half.
Stromstad makes the final tackle, but the defensive line right now of Southern Utah, if they think it's going to be a pass play, they're coming after the Colonels, and they're getting to them.
Second punt in a row for Baker. Oh, beauty as it hits and dies. It hit at the 6, and they're going to down it, they say, at the 6. I thought he got it at the 5, but he must have touched it first at the 6.
He outstretched his arm across the 5-yard line and touched it there.
Timeout, 4:18. In the 3rd, Southern Utah by 3. Football when we return. Their 2nd series and then couldn't make it on 3rd and 5 from midfield. Well, they scored on a 94-yard drive in the first half that started on this side of the field from the 6. Can they do it again? McGowan comes in at running back. Off to the right, and nothing there. Linebacker. Now to the running back we go, and nothing for Dye. Well, he's been a tremendous player all year long, making an argument for player of the year in the conference on the offensive side. Over 100 yards again today, 115.
Derek Taylor that time, Greg, came up and made a big tackle to limit Dye to a no gainer.
It'll be second down at 10. Dye just 11 yards this half. He'll try it again. There's a gap. And he gets up to about the 11, maybe the 12. So a pickup of 6, and it'll be third down at 4. And on third downs today, Eastern Kentucky has not been able to hold down Southern Utah. They're 5 of 10. They were 2 for 3 in that last scoring drive. Good look at it from field level, Jim.
Yeah, look how much room he had, and McGowan able just to shed the block at the last moment to prevent Dye getting double-digit yards on that run. And once again, they get into third and manageable. This is about 3rd and 4.
Got to get it out to the 16, and it will be 3rd and 4, as Jim said. And they go empty this time. 5 receivers, double pumping. And now wide open over the middle on the catch. Another one for their leading receiver today, Shane Carr, as he works left to right for his 6th catch of the day. And he is up to about 100 yards on the day, and an injured Colonel down at the end of the play.
Yeah, they just can't get enough pressure on Barron to affect the passing game. Carr able to run a long enough route to get open across the middle, pick up the first down. But the defensive line of EKU not doing what Southern Utah's defensive line has been doing, and that's getting in the backfield to cause problems. And Barron just has enough time to make plays.
Well, you talk about, and you talked to Lane Fitzgerald, the head coach, about this. They were in that losing streak of 5 games. They've lost 3 games by just 3 points. 6 of the last 7 games have been against ranked teams when they played them. But he made changes on the defensive staff. Didn't really say strip the defensive coordinator title away from his longtime friend John Kelling. But he brought in a new coach, not brought in, but moved the linebacker coach, Shea McClure, to calling the defensive plays. And it's worked for him. They're trying to win 4 in a row.
Yeah, 4 in a row since that change took place. So somebody else calling the plays. The word he used to me during the interview was demoted. He said, I had to demote a friend that's been with me for 12 years. So I'm sure it was a tough decision to make, but he said his team has responded. They've responded in the special teams. They did some tweaking with the special teams coaching situation, and this team has responded, reeled off 3 in a row, and their defense is playing really, really good.
The big difference today has been converting on last down, whether it's 3rd down or 4th down.
Yeah.
6 of 11 compared to 2 of 6. And on 4th down, Southern Utah's 2 for 2, EKU's 1 for 1. Here's another set of downs from the 27, and they're just trying to pound Eastern Kentucky's defense here. And it got it up to the 29 for 2. It'll be 2nd and 8 as we near the 2-minute mark of quarter number 3, with Southern Utah clinging to a 20-17 lead.
Wilds has had to come back into the game. The injury a moment ago was to Derek Taylor. He was able to walk off the field on under his own power, but Wilds back in there, and EKU secondary getting very, very thin at this point.
3 one-possession losses by 3 points for Southern Utah. Today they lead by 3 late in the 3rd. Rolling the pocket right, Barron pumping, throwing, receiver juggles but caught it. Oh, it came out of his hands, Nunez, but Gabe Nunez brought it in. And we'll go first down again for Southern Utah, and they have had their way with a EKU defense that's been stingy throughout the year. That one may have been tipped.
Yeah, it was
by
Braden Sullivan. Yeah, Sullivan tipped that ball. That was what I was waiting to see on the instant replay. He did get a hand on it, but Nunez stayed with it, stayed with good concentration, brought it in.
They moved from their own 6. Remember, they had a drive that started to 6, produced points. Big running room Dye. He's good, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, he just lowers that shoulder. The UTEP transfer. Didn't get the first down, but he got 9 of it. Now you've got that extra play if you wanted here. Do you strike long? Because you've won the battle in the trenches today.
And Barron has been good, and he is able to get out of pressure, so I don't think there's a downside to taking a shot here. I would say that you go twin backs, you might be thinking that you're going to run that back up in front of Dye and just let him pick up the first down.
Dye has 132 yards today. We're going to go backwards on this one. Eastern Kentucky shut him down on 2nd down and 1. He lost 2 on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 2. But 3rd down has been their money down here in the second half. We were tied at 17 at halftime. Red zone hadn't been great for either team either, Jim. unable to get touchdowns in the red zone as much as field goals today.
You saw Gurley there on your screen. He had one side, and Frank Lee had the other.
Ways.
They're dominating time of possession, too. 29 minutes to 16.
Fake of the handoff to Dye, and EKU doesn't bite on it. And another lost down and a lost yard. That's twice that EKU has gone TFL defensively, and Gurley steps up to make the play there. The leader, he's now over 10 TFLs on the year.
I started to think that Delane Fitzgerald might chance it, but I second-guessed myself, and here comes the punt unit team now. You see Barron take a hard hit. Taylor in on that tackle, took a really hard hit at the end of that play. He got up kind of slow.
Well, after not punting on their first 5 possessions, the first punt of the day for Vigil. EKU punted twice in the third quarter, and that's going to take a big bounce for Vigil. Down to the 2-yard line. Been on the sidelines all day, and Elias Vigil, the senior from San Pablo, California, comes in and does a great job.
That thing was an elevator shaft kick, but he gets the roll. It was probably a good 15 yards of bounce.
45-yard punt, but more importantly, position down to the 3-yard line. Worst field position of the day for EKU. 14:09 in the game. Winner of this one will go to 500 on the year. The other one will drop to 4-6. EKU trying to pull even with Southern Utah in UAC play at 3-3. If they get a win, and EKU will be conservative there, trying to see if they can find anything, and nothing there. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Jim, the trench war has been won. The pressure from the defensive line and the linebackers of Southern Utah here in the second half has been really good.
Yeah, they've been able to get into the backfield. They do on that play. They're able to get in the backfield. Latham just gets away to get to the line of scrimmage.
Second down and 10 from their own 3, down 3 in the fourth quarter early. Latham, nothing. 3rd and 10.
And they're just crashing down with the safety. Stillwell, he knows it's going to Latham, or is at least guessing as much, and he crashes down on the edge and is able to pull Latham down right when he gets to the line of scrimmage. You see Stillwell right here, great tackle, but the line is also there to help him out. They have guessed right, and the defensive line is not budging right now. You got to run a slant or something, get something going here, a quick hitter to get you out of this situation.
5th different center that EKU has used, and avoiding a safety. Burkett throws and incomplete. Well, they were close to getting a safety. EKU has allowed one safety earlier this year, and that was an inefficient 3 sets of plays. Trying to be careful, keep it a 1-possession game, not make any mistake, and 2 runs for no gain and an incomplete pass, and it'll be 3 punts in a row here in the second half for an EKU offense that has been stymied by a Southern Utah defense that gives up 31.5 points a game and 420 yards, but has held their last 3 opponents, or the last 2 games, to just 12 points a game. They've gotten a whole lot better. Baker out of his own end zone, high into the sky. There is 25 yards of running room for Nunez, but he got a late start over the shoulder, and EKU wrestles him down at midfield.
Still going to start with really, really good field position here. So Southern Utah's defense does its job, forces the 3 and out, and the offense gets to start at midfield.
Yeah, they're actually going to give him the 49-yard line on the plus side of things. Timeout. Southern Utah trying to add insurance, up by 3 when we return.
It's Joshua Dye time, don't you think? Fourth quarter.
Guy 28 right there with that red helmet.
Yeah, you've had your offense on the field for the majority of the third. You get it back here in the fourth after a 3 and out. You can kind of set the tone here. You see Dye's numbers through up to this game in the season. In this game, he's got 130 yards on 25 carries, 2 touchdowns. This is almost tailor-made, Greg, for Joshua Dye to kind of salt things away.
Best field position of the day on the plus side by a yard. And you talk about salted away. Get out the salt and pepper shaker. He's going down inside the 10-yard line and a horse collar to boot on Shaheem Ward, it appeared.
Got to get him down, so I think that's the only option Ward had.
That'll move it goal to go. Well, they found the gap, didn't they?
First time he's really broken that big one. My goodness, did he have some speed
Personal
there.
foul, horse collar tackle, defense. Penalty tap the distance to the goal line. First down.
Take another look at it. Watch him burst through this hole on the right side. I mean, just all kinds of green grass in front of him. Ward with great speed to be able to run him down, but he has to get him by the collar of the jersey to bring him down. And well, boy, did we call that one?
Yeah, we had that one at the right time. Goal to go at the 4. Guess who? Toss sweep right die. Looking for his 3rd touchdown of the day. Did he get there?
I don't think so.
No, just shy of the pylon, says the line judge. Dye has had 4 rushing touchdowns against Tarleton State in northern Arizona in close losses. He's a yard away as they're in the hurry up from what could be his 3rd. Why would you give it to anybody else and you won't? And Dye scores. And that's big time insurance. EKU's offense has fallen flat with 3 straight punts. A lot of credit to the Thunderbird defense. And it is now, with a PAT, potentially going to be a double-figure game with 11:48 to go in the contest.
Well, your offensive line feels like they have the advantage right now, getting the push off the snap. So why not? Give it to Dye. 3 runs, you're in the end zone.
He has now scored 14 touchdowns, most in the football championship subdivision. And he has scored 132 points. Nobody scored more. And Barron, by the way, is 239 through the air. So they have had Dye on the ground, and the passing game has complemented Dye on the ground. And it's 27-17 Southern Utah as Dye finds the end zone like he's done all year long.
Time all day. It's a 2-score lead for one of these 2 teams. It just happens to be Southern Utah with 11:48 to go. Jermaine. I'm going baseball now. Joshua Dye, a 1-yard touchdown run. All 3 plays in the scoring drive where Dye runs, 49 yards, 46 seconds. Shortest drive of the day for Southern Utah to get a score. 46 seconds easily is the shortest drive of the day.
Mitchell won 101 game, and they're not going to give him a chance. King's been a weapon today as well, outside of that 135-yard kick return. Let's see who EKU goes into at quarterback. They have used Cam Montgomery 2 weeks ago. Let's see if they go back with Burkett, and they will. There had been talk that Montgomery had continued to work, but give Burkett another chance here, as he just really hadn't had much protection from his offensive line here in the second half. EKU has gone 3 and out. Second series after punting on their first. 1 first down, a punt, and then 3 and out again. So they have only had 1 play that's produced a first down. And we've got another flag on EKU. They play penalty-free up front and in the offense last week, but using a new center.
Also offense, number 6-3, 5-yard penalty, first down.
3rd false start on Hunter Gawley. Put him in a really tough situation. They had used Johns at center in the first game, and then they moved Coppinger over, and then Coppinger was pulled after a bad snap. Moved Bunn in there. Bunn got injured. Moved Coppinger back to center, and then Coppinger has to move to guard with Gaines pulled late after an injury. Here's Burkett coming around the corner, finding a gap, still running, and he's all the way up to the 42-yard line, and here comes a flag from the back judge.
That may be a blindside block.
He had a good look at it, too, and he's spotting where he saw it. So the back judge, Joseph Wise, saw something here.
Could be a hold, too. That's down there near the offensive line.
Holding offense, number 82, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Hold on Jaden West.
See if we can catch it as Burkett gets around the edge. Not going to be in camera view on that close of a replay. Oh, yeah, right there. Yeah, absolutely. Come into the screen.
And it was downfield where he had already had the first down.
Right.
So
yeah,
wipes away a big gain, and now they lose 5 yards on the play because it came 5 yards upfield, and it'll be 1st and 15.
they had already lost 5 because of the false start, so basically they're right back where they were.
Yeah, that's right. Been a lot of offensive penalties today after clean a week ago. Burkett hit as he throws to the feet of Hensley. The pressure on him, and they have not been able to protect Burkett today. This Southern Utah defense, when they made changes in their defensive staff and pulled that duty away from the defensive coordinator and went to their linebackers coach, it's worked. Look at Burkett hang in there, but unable to connect.
Harper. Yeah, Henry Harper has been all over the field today. He has had a fantastic game. Was even more prevalent in the first half, but continued it here in the second.
Only 15 tackles on the year in 9 games coming in, but he had 2 for loss last year out in Cedar City. Cardinals second down at 15. Burkett scrambling. They'll maybe lose a yard, maybe a half yard there, and Southern Utah is feeling their oats for good reason right now. Look at a little dance there by Blake Stillwell.
Lando Brown involved as well. Goodness gracious. Right now, I mean, the entire second half, it started with that first drive that EKU had coming out of the locker room. The defensive line of the Thunderbirds has just caused all kinds of havoc in the backfield of the Colonel offense.
3rd down and 16 after the loss of 1. A conversion away from their 4th punt in a row this half. Adjusting, looking, throwing, crossing pattern, but well back at the 30. It all depends on where they get. 33-yard line as they drive west, who had the penalty in this drive out. And down 10 with 10.5 minutes and ticking. I don't know if you gamble on 4th and 2 here or not. Let's see what Walt Wells does.
He may decide that it's time to punt the football.
Going to turn it over to the defense. There's West stumbling, trying to get around the corner, and it'll be the 4th punt in a row for Eastern Kentucky here in quarter number 3 and 4.
If West doesn't stumble, he may have had a chance to cut that up.
Baker, a high punt. Fair catch taken at the 20-yard line. Southern Utah with 9:53 to go. The football back leading 27-17 after a 47-yard Baker punt. Round of the United Athletic Conference, Southern Utah leads by 10 with the ball back here. 9:53 to go elsewhere. Abilene Christian leading at home by 14 over Utah Tech. UNA leads 17-10 over West Georgia. Austin Peay, big lead over Central Arkansas, 27-14. And back to the guy that's been the star and die. This time no gain, and it'll be 2nd down and 10. Bailey. Now we got a new quarterback in, I believe, for Southern Utah. That's interesting. It's Will Burns out of Mission Viejo, California, through Golden West College.
Remember at the end of that drive a while ago that Barron was slow getting up. He was tackled really hard. He may still be suffering some after effects of that, so they've gone to Barnes here.
And so the sophomore in Will Barnes will have 2nd down and 10. And now they have, as you said, brought Barron back in for Dye, and he gets 2 to the 22. It'll be 3rd and 8. It's been their money down here in quarters number 3 and 4, but they're trying to just turn it over to their defense, who's been salty today with a 10-point lead. Be very careful. Run clock here. Remember, EKU had to burn a timeout in a substitution situation back in the 3rd quarter. 3rd and 8 here.
It was an odd place to put Barnes in coming out of a timeout if you weren't still evaluating Barron for some type of injury. And he trotted right back out there after that first play. And you're right, 3rd down and long. They have really been good today on 3rd down.
3rd downs today, 50%. They're going to throw. Open receiver, 1st down. Beat Tagaloa Nelson on the right side, and it's the same guy who's had a tremendous day today in Carr. Now 7 catches on 9 targets, well over 100 yards. And for Carr, it's his best game of the year in the number of catches and yards.
Another look at it there, but Carr just crossing underneath. Barron's getting the time to throw the football. The EKU defensive line is not getting to the quarterback in the passing game.
And now they'll go back to Will Barnes at quarterback. 1st and 10 as they've converted another 3rd and long, 3rd and 8. And it's Barnes. He's a running quarterback, and he'll be dragged out of bounds at the 47. Barnes comes in just 26 passes on the year, but that's his 39th run. Jim, he averages 7.7 yards a carry, so it may be more that you want the runner in to run the clock down. And you see Barnes here, and then you had to go back to Barron on the 3rd and long, and he converted.
Well, the thing it does is give an extra dimension that the EKU defense has to worry about as each play starts. So Barnes in there with his feet can bother you in the RPO.
They have converted. Oh, here's the Barnes losing the football, going back to smother it up. That's the one thing they cannot afford. They've had one turnover today, and it was by their defense who got an interception and then fumbled it back. And it'll be 3rd down.
It's the exchange here. Watch the exchange between him and Dye. He tried to pull that out at the last minute, and Dye wanted it more than he did, so he caused the fumble there.
And back in for another 3rd down. It's 3rd and 7 this time, and it's Barron. They've gone on a conversion of 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 8. They've converted 4 fairly long 3rd downs. And they've got another one here. Trips to the right. Whistler out of the backfield in motion. Pressure on him here, and he'll just slide down and not take the sack, but it'll go as a sack as Gabe Stevens was coming from the linebacker position along with Bailey, and the Eastern Kentucky defense shuts the doors. We near the 6-minute mark, down 10, and we'll see if the offense can start its engine.
Yeah, Stevens inside, Bailey with a little twist to come to the outside. And we had not talked a lot about Jeremiah Bailey in the middle of the season. He came on in this game. He's really had a nice one.
This will be the 2nd punt of the day. That's it for Southern Utah. Eastern comes after him, doesn't get to King, who punts it. And the Colonel takes it and is hammered there at the 26-yard line. So they use King rather than Vigil this time. And now the Eastern Kentucky offense will try to find anything. It has been a tough second half. Watch this hit.
Mitchell, yeah, just you got to put the hand up there. Even if there's a shadow of a doubt that you're not going to be able to get upfield, you've got to put the hand up for the fair catch.
47-yard punt by King. King has both been a kickoff man, a place kicker, and a punter. He's done a little bit of everything. Burkett back to work. 5:37 to go in the game, and whistle sound.
The previous play is under further review for targeting.
That's interesting. Did he get the helmet up underneath the helmet of Mitchell when he makes the tackle? Let's take another look at it here. The very end, watch the helmet. The crown of the helmet is what you've got to. Oh, he led with the crown of the helmet there by definition. That could be targeting. Watch at the end, right? Here, crown comes in and connects with the helmet of Mitchell. So absolutely, you could see the helmet of Mitchell coming off as he went to the turf. So that could very well be determined to be targeting.
Now we have 2 12s. I believe it's that guy right there in Stillwell, Blake Stillwell. The other 12 on offense, who's been in on special teams on a return on kickoffs, was Rand Sawyer. And we'll wait and see what the outcome is. We're down to the 5:37 mark. Eastern Kentucky down 10. They've gone 3 and out on their first drive of the second half when it was tied at 17. They got a first down 20-yard pickup and then went 3 and out on their second set of downs in Series 2. They went 3 and out in the last 2 drives.
No, so look at it from the end zone. Definitely looks like the crown of the helmet came in first. But yeah, it's that number 12 though on the sideline. I think it's Sawyer.
So it is Sawyer.
Yeah, I think it's Sawyer and not the defensive back Stillwell.
How much do we love double numbers?
Oh, they're wonderful things.
You know, because 100 numbers isn't enough.
Greg, I've got an issue here. And the issue for me on this play is that there was no flag thrown. That should have been a flag thrown for targeting. But yet the flag is not thrown, and you've got to stop and go to replay instead to see if this is targeting. So it was not called targeting on the field. And I think it'll take a long time for them to look at it and then say it's been overturned if, in fact, they come to the conclusion that the crown of the helmet was what was being used when he came in and made contact.
At halftime, 280 yards on the board for Southern Utah. They have pumped it up to 456, so that is 176 yards by my quick math, Jim, in the second half already. Meanwhile, Eastern Kentucky has only been able to muster 44 yards of offense here in the second half. And we're going to get the indication on Sawyer whether it's targeting.
After review, personal foul, targeting, kicking team number 12, 15-yard penalty, first down. Number 12 is disqualified.
He doesn't like it. You may be able to do that when you're up by 10.
Got a little smile on his face, though. I think he had an inkling that he that it would be held up again. This is probably the best angle. Watch the crown of the helmet and how his neck pops back after he makes contact. Yeah, I think he had an inkling that he probably was not going to be coming back in this game.
So Ran Sawyer out of St. George, the freshman at Dixie High School, down where Utah Tech is located, where EKU will end up the regular season. Burkett pump fakes, scrambles. Down he goes for no gain.
Just too much pressure. I mean, they're just getting off the snap and into the backfield. No pocket whatsoever for Burkett. He immediately has to start scrambling. Pass patterns have not been developed. He has no time to get the passing game going.
Hunter Golly thrown into action under fire with the late scratch of Antonio Gaines, who had a bit of a knee problem in practice. Here is a slant pattern caught. That is by Lambert. First catch as a Colonel, 6'4" sophomore from Dixon, Tennessee. Converted about 3 weeks ago from quarterback to tight end.
Where's that been? I mean, that quick hitter, that's what this offense was so successful at last week when they got the win at Central Arkansas. Where has that been this entire game? We haven't seen too many of those quick hitter slant patterns.
Colonel's playing today without their top two tight ends as well. Burkett sacked, and he loses 5 more.
Harper again.
Fourth sack, or second sack of the day by Southern Utah. Colonels have made 3 themselves. Harper's had a big day, hasn't he?
Look how quickly the pocket breaks down, though. There's just no time for Burkett to develop anything.
Second down and 16 after the loss. Burkett, good protection this time. Now it breaks down. He'll have to pump and run, and he'll come to the sidelines and run out of bounds at the 44. Get the quarterback sack loss. Colonel's in with 3:52 to go, down 10, and the clock running. Will be in 4-down territory, no doubt, on a 3rd down and 8 here. They need the 35.
The longer this goes, though, you're going to have to onside kick. So they may have made the decision that they're just going to take their time to score in this drive and then try the onside kick.
3rd down and 8 for Eastern Kentucky in 4-down territory, down 10. 2 timeouts left. They need at least 3 here in this drive. Burkett scrambling, looking, dancing around, directing, throwing, low to the feet of the running back out of the backfield, Latham. Jim, no excuse here. I mean, they are high on the center, Hunter Golly, who was on the practice squad throughout most of the year, a freshman out of Winchester. But he is basically, if you went into fall camp, number 6 in the center spot. They lost Blake Gomez to injury, who they had counted on. Bunn, Coppinger, Johns, Schlarman have all been in there. 4th down and 8. Last gasp for the home team, or they'll lose 2 in a row at home after winning 10 in a row. And complete, and Southern Utah slams the door on the Eastern Kentucky offense. 4 punts and an turnover on downs. What a second half for Southern Utah. They made that change defensively in their staff. They've used the linebacker coach Shea McClure to call the plays now, and it's turned golden. Jim, they have given up a total of 41 points in the last 3 games. They were giving up over 40 repeatedly earlier in the year during that 5-game losing streak.
You're talking about a game that was tied at 17 going into the locker room, and EKU even had some momentum, but I think they got much more aggressive in the pass rush, thinking that EKU would go to that short passing game. They got very aggressive with the defensive front, and it's paid off big time here in the second half.
They can run the clock out now if they can get a couple of first downs. There goes their star, Dye, one of the best running backs in the country, to midfield. Dye picks up 7 more. He's down to 184 yards.
30 seconds in lead.
Well, you look at what Dye has done this year, and it has been impressive. We talked about him being number 1 in scoring. He's scored 14 touchdowns. As we watch some of the work he's done today, tasting the end zone more than any running back in the nation at FCS. He's had games of 204, 189, 180, 179, 171, and 155 yards, a touchdown in every game since the season opener, and today, 184. And the die has been cast. It's going to be Southern Utah's day in all likelihood, minus a miracle for EKU, down by 10.
This will tell you how dominant they've been in the second half. They've given EKU's offense 60 yards, 6-0. That's it.
Here comes Dye, coming off to the left, breaking a tackle, and then going down, and flags come down.
Maybe a hold out there on the edge.
Eastern Kentucky in penalties. A total of 5
Holding
for
offense,
19.
number 14, 10-yard penalty, second down.
Now 9 for 85 on Southern Utah.
And they get Fairchild, the wide receiver, out there on the edge with a hold, trying to block for Dye to give him a little more room to get to the sideline.
You think if the Thunderbirds, and they've got a couple of games coming up as we watch the play, this will be their 4th win in a row if they get to the finish line after losing 5 in a row. There's the hold, obviously.
Yeah, right. Yeah, holding off Tisdale to try and come up.
They have any chance, if they win the last 2, of making a claim at 7-5 to get in the playoffs?
That's tough. I mean, they didn't make it last year at 7-5. Weren't able to make it in with that record on last year's campaign. So I think that loss to San Diego really, really hurts them.
And 3-point losses. They stay with Barron. Bronson Barron. Interesting about Barron, he was at Weber State for 26 games. Those 26 games over 3 seasons. Then he goes to Western Kentucky here in the state, down in Bowling Green. Plays just 2 games, goes 1 for 2 through the air, 3 interceptions. Comes back to his home state. And this has been his team this year, and he's run it well. And it's interesting, he was on his Mormon mission from 2018 to 2020 in Ghana. So he's an older player coming back and playing college football. This is 6 years at 3 different schools for Bronson Barron.
And you could see how smart he is throughout the course of this game. Very, very savvy, has got that internal clock to tell him when to get out and away from pressure. Just a really, really wily quarterback. I like what I've seen from him, and I'll tell you, as advertised, Joshua Dye, he is something else.
Barron, 256 yards of passing today, so he's over 2,700 in his Southern Utah career, and he is inching towards 8,000 when you combine his numbers at Weber State. Toss sweep to Dye. And he will get the first down again. Third down conversions, they have won the war. 8 of 15 against an EKU defense that entered this game holding their opponents to 43%. But today, on third down, the money down, it's been all Southern Utah. Southern Utah will move on the year to 5-5. They'll have won 4 in a row. EKU, after winning 10 in a row at home, over 723 days without a loss, will go back-to-back losses at home with another one against a ranked team in Abilene Christian next week. And here is Dye trying to get another 4-touchdown day. And that'll about do it as we go to the 2-minute timeout with 1:57 to go. And Southern Utah leading by 10 in the Bluegrass State. Over 500 yards now and over 400 in 6 games. Southern Utah 27-17, load the plane and head 1,800 miles to the west. One of 3 teams to play in 4 time zones this year. Weber State and Portland State, they'll play at home at the Coliseum in Cedar City, 6:30 Mountain Time. Colonels will be out in St. George, Utah to wrap up the season in 2 weeks, but they'll take on as they'll go to the classy kneel down here. EKU out of timeouts. Jim, it was tied at halftime as Abilene Christian will come here next. They were winning today, and they were number 13 in the country when Southern Utah beat them. Remember, Southern Utah in the last 3 games has defeated Abilene Christian, then ranked 13th, Utah Tech by 21, and then a 16-point win over then 22 Austin Peay. Today, Tarleton, after losing to Abilene Christian, is number 6 in the media poll, 7 in the coaches poll, and Abilene Christian drops to 17th and 20th in the coaches poll. But Abilene Christian 31-10 over Utah Tech at home, and I think you're going to have at least 2 teams from the United Athletic Conference in postseason. Could get 3, but how much do they value the win by Austin Peay if they can keep going? Their win over Middle Tennessee, who's had a dreadful season on the FBS level. How about that guy? How did UTEP let him go? What is going on? I mean, he's a pretty good running back, the redshirt sophomore from Williams Fields High School in Gilbert, Arizona.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Somebody must be really good up there right now.
And one more kneel down with a half minute to go. And Southern Utah, before they depart back to the Big Sky, will win 2 United Athletic Conference games over Eastern Kentucky. Lane Fitzgerald meets Walt Wells at the midfield. And Southern Utah, it's impressive. This second half was all lopsided. Great defense and steady Eddie offense for the Thunderbirds, Jim.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But I think the biggest change was that getting aggressive with the defensive line in the second half. They just did not allow EKU's offense to get anything going, couldn't get consistent, couldn't get forward, only 60 yards in the second half for the EKU offense.
For our director, Dylan Travis, analyst Jim Tyree, I'm Greg Stadelmeyer. We say so long from Richmond, where the final score is Southern Utah 27 and Eastern Kentucky 17. All games airing on the ESPN Network, streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.